Diary of a Cat Mom.
Have you ever given your cat an extra treat because they looked at you with those big, adorable eyes? I certainly have. This is Diary of a Cat Mom. For a long, long time, I thought keeping my cat's food bowls full was simply part of being a good cat mom and loving them. Growing up, I watched my mom feed the outdoor cats. She would put food out, cats would come running, eat their meals, groom themselves, and then stretch out in the sunshine for a nap. So when I had cats on my own as an adult, I did exactly the same thing. Whenever the food bowls were empty, I filled them again. And at first, everything seemed perfectly normal. But over time, I noticed something. My lean cats were no longer quite so lean. One day during an annual vet exam, the doctor looked at one of my cats and smiled and said, "He's a big boy. You may want to start controlled feeding." Controlled feeding. Never even heard that term before. So I went home and started researching it. And at first, I focused on timing. So instead of leaving food available all day, I put meals down in the morning and I put them down in the evening. So the cats could slowly adjust to the schedule. And that helped. But soon I realized they were still eating much more than they actually needed. So I took the next step and began measuring their portions. And today, each cat receives a specific amount of food in the morning and another specific amount in the evening. And this way, they get the nutrition they need, they enjoy the meals, and they can manage much better. And it's better for their health and for their overall being. But the biggest lesson I learned is not feeding schedules. It was really about, for years, I used food as a way to show affection. Like a treat for being cute, another treat for being sweet, and a treat because they looked at me with these big eyes and I just wanted to make them happy. What I eventually realized is that cats don't only need calories, they need connection. And research shows that controlled feeding can prevent obesity, health problems, and reduce the risk of conditions like diabetes or arthritis. And it also helps us notice quickly if a cat loses interest in food, because that's really an important sign to see something is wrong. So now instead of always reaching for a treat, I often reach for something else. Cuddle, few minutes of petting, play session, a new catnip, kicker toy. And sometimes that helps them exercise, but a lot of times it helps them stay mentally engaged and they feel love all the time. So most importantly, it reminds us that caring for our cats isn't measured by the amount of food we give them. Sometimes the healthiest thing we can do is give them a little less food and a little more attention. So if you're like me and you always associate food with love, you're certainly not alone. And perhaps one of the greatest gifts we can give our cats is learning that love comes in many forms. Not every expression of love has to come from a food bowl. Sometimes it comes from a toy, a cuddle, play session, or simply spending time together. And your cat will probably appreciate all of those things just as much. So thank you for being part of Diary of a Cat Mom. Don't miss the next entry. There's always another little moment, another lesson, another story waiting to be shared. I will talk to you in the next entry.
Diary of a Cat Mom.